You ever wonder why so many older men, especially over 50, are choosing to stay single, focused, and free? I'll tell you why. Because after years of giving, building, sacrificing, and showing up, men are finally choosing peace over pressure, purpose over pretending, and clarity over chaos. This ain't about bitterness. It's not about blaming women. It's about men who've woken up, and they're not interested in chasing something that costs them everything and gives them nothing. Men in their 50s and 60s aren't confused anymore. They're not asking, how do I keep her? They're asking, what is she bringing to a life I've already built? They've been through the storm, divorce court, emotional roller coasters, walking on eggshells, and they're not going back. Why invite drama into a home that's finally clean and quiet? Why gamble your legacy on someone who can't follow your lead? Why apologize for being masculine, structured, or spiritually grounded? Healthy aging means more than green smoothies and gym routines. It means guarding your emotional energy, protecting your peace, and refusing to play roles that don't serve your mission. In this video, we're breaking down 18 real reasons why men are stepping back from relationships that no longer serve them. If you're tired of pretending everything's fine, stick around. You're not the only one who's finally seeing things for what they are. Reason number 1, divorce doesn't just hurt. It breaks a man to the bone. You gave her your name, your years, your loyalty. You showed up even when it was hard, and still, it wasn't enough. Now your house is gone. Your retirement, cut in half. Your kids, used like weapons in court. You didn't just lose money, you lost trust, you lost your identity. And the system that should have protected you handed you the bill. So no, you're not rushing back. Because once a man survives that kind of betrayal, he doesn't fear being alone. He fears giving everything again and watching it burn twice. Reason number 2. He's not chasing a wife, he's avoiding the act. You know what really stings? Dating a woman and never knowing if she's genuine or just putting on a show until she gets the ring. In the beginning, she's sweet. She cooks. She laughs. She plays the part. But after I do, everything shifts. Now he's living with someone cold, demanding, and unwilling to do the things she once offered freely. The warmth is gone. The peace is gone. And the partnership? Now it feels more like pressure. That man in his 50s isn't mad. He's just tired of falling for the mask. Reason number 3, peace over problems, because he's had enough chaos. There comes a time in a man's life when peace stops being a want and becomes a need. He's built a home that's finally quiet, clean, steady. It may not be perfect, but it's his, and he's not about to let someone come in and turn it upside down just because he feels a little lonely now and then. Truth is, he's already been through the fights, the tension, the constant walking on eggshells. He's done trying to keep the peace with someone who doesn't know how to bring it. So no, he's not avoiding love. He's just not willing to lose himself again trying to find it. Reason number 4. He's tired of the act. A lot of men over 50 have been through it before, more than once. At first, everything feels good. She's sweet. She cooks. She listens. She makes him feel wanted. But somewhere between the engagement ring and the wedding vows, the energy shifts. The warmth fades. The support turns into resistance. And suddenly, he's not building with a partner. He's living with someone who pushes back on everything he tries to lead. He's not crazy. He sees it now for what it is, a performance. So instead of getting pulled into something that looks good, but feels wrong, he walks away early, before the damage is done. Reason number 5. He feels like who he is isn't welcome anymore. A lot of older men grew up believing that being a provider, a leader, and standing strong for your family was something to be proud of. Now, that same strength gets labeled as toxic. The way he talks, the way he leads, even how he protects, suddenly it's all under a microscope, like being masculine is something to apologize for. So he asks himself, why would I step into a relationship or a culture that tears down the bar, very qualities I was taught to build on, especially when he's still expected to pay the bill, carry the weight, and stay silent? It's not that he won't love. It's that he won't enter a space where love means losing himself. Reason number 6. He's looking for a teammate, not a rival. One of the biggest reasons older men are staying single is simple. They're not looking for competition at home. They've already spent decades competing in the world, at work, in life, in their own minds. What they want now is peace, a partner, someone who brings calm, not conflict. But too often, they find themselves in relationships where every decision becomes a debate, where leadership is seen as control, where offering direction gets treated like disrespect. And for a man who's spent years learning how to lead with care and purpose, that constant pushback wears him down. He doesn't need a challenger in his home. He needs a woman who believes in building something together. Because if every moment feels like a power struggle, he'll choose peace and walk away before it turns into a battle. Reason number 7. He's done with one-sided relationships. For years, men were told, happy wife, happy life. They followed the script, kept quiet, paid the bills, did what they thought was right, thinking it would bring peace at home. But for a lot of older men, that formula backfired. Instead of feeling appreciated, they felt used. Instead of closeness, they got distance. Instead of partnership, they got pressure. The love faded, the intimacy disappeared, and all that was left was a pile of debt and a worn-out man who never felt heard. Now, he's not bitter. He's awake. He's no longer signing up for a relationship where his feelings don't matter and his needs come last. Because real love isn't one-sided, and real peace doesn't live in quiet resentment. Reason number 8. He finally sees his own worth for. Many men, something powerful happens around 45 or 50. They finally grow into the value they've been building all along. They may not get the same attention younger women once did, but now they're respected for their wisdom, stability, and strength. They're no longer chasing approval or trying to impress. They know who they are, what they offer, and what they're worth. They're not desperate. They're selective. And that makes all the difference. Reason number 9. He's looking for purpose, not just a pretty face. As men get older, their priorities shift. They're not chasing quick thrills or surface-level beauty anymore. They've learned that attraction without alignment leads to frustration. A pretty face with the wrong mindset just brings more stress. He's not interested in another woman who's all image and attitude. He wants someone who shares his vision, someone to build with, not battle. At this stage in life, he's looking for legacy, not likes. A real connection, not just chemistry, because purpose lasts longer than pretty ever will. Reason number 10. If she doesn't match his standards, he'd rather stay alone. Older men aren't looking for just anyone to keep them company. They're looking for someone who fits their life, their vision, and their values. At this stage, they know exactly what brings them peace, and they're not willing to trade that for a relationship that adds stress or confusion. If a woman can't meet him with the same level of clarity, purpose, and respect, he'll gladly stay solo, keep his space in order, his heart at ease, and his wallet untouched. Reason number 11. He's found more peace on his own. This one might be hard to hear, but it's real. Many older men have discovered more peace single than they ever had in a relationship. No constant tension, no arguments over little things, no emotional power struggles, just quiet, clarity, breathing room. For the first time in years, he feels like himself again. And once a man experiences that kind of peace, the kind that restores him, he stops chasing relationships that bring more noise than joy. He's not closed off to love, he's just finally protecting his peace. Reason number 12. Wisdom comes with time. Older men aren't naive anymore. They've lived, they've loved, and yes, they've been hurt and misled. But those experiences taught them something priceless. How to see clearly. They don't rush into relationships now. They observe, they test, they take their time before giving their trust, and one thing they'll never do again, surrender their role as a leader in their own life. Because with age comes wisdom, and with wisdom comes stronger boundaries. Reason number 13. He's done performing for love. There was a time when he'd go out of his way to impress, buy the flowers, say the right lines, play the role of Mr. Perfect, all for a woman who deep down didn't value him, just the performance, but that phase is over. He's not trying to win attention anymore. He's living with intention. He leads with purpose now, not pressure. And if she can't walk beside him, if she needs a show, not a real man, he won't argue. He'll simply walk away. No drama. No begging, just peace. Reason number 14. He's tired of the shallow dating scene. To many older men, today's dating world feels more fake than real. Between dating apps, filtered selfies, and surface-level conversations, it's hard to tell what's genuine anymore. Everything looks good on the outside, but there's no depth, no connection, no peace. He's not interested in chasing attention or playing games. He's not looking for likes. He's looking for a life partner, someone real, someone grounded, someone ready to build, not just post. Reason number 15. When physical closeness fades, it's a sign, not just a choice. Some older men stay single because their desire for physical connection has faded, or they've simply stepped away from intimacy altogether. At first glance, it might feel like peace. No demands, no emotional expectations, just quiet. But sometimes that silence is covering something deeper. Losing the longing for closeness can mean a man is slowly disconnecting from a meaningful part of who he is. Intimacy in a committed relationship isn't just about pleasure. It's about bonding, trust, and staying emotionally in tune. It's how two people renew their connection over time. So when a man finds himself withdrawing from that part of life, it may not be growth. It could be a sign he's drifting from his purpose. Not every stillness is peace, and not every loss of desire is wisdom. Sometimes it's a quiet call for healing. It's worth facing, and it's okay to get help to feel whole again. Reason number 16. Freedom without responsibility isn't growth. Let's be honest, some men choose to stay single not because they've been hurt, but because they don't want the weight that comes with real commitment. They enjoy their freedom, but avoid the structure that comes with leading a household, raising a family, or building something lasting. And while it might seem smart to dodge that kind of responsibility, it's not always wisdom, it can be avoidance. Because true freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's choosing to lead with purpose. Running from accountability isn't escaping control. It's stepping away from maturity. Reason number 17. He's afraid to open up again. Not every man avoids relationships because of bad experiences with women. Sometimes it's because he doesn't want to face what's still hurting inside. He's been let down, maybe even betrayed, and instead of dealing with the pain, he shuts down. He keeps his guard up, stays distant, and convinces himself that staying cold is safer. But here's the truth. A man who won't lead emotionally ends up lost, either too hard or too hesitant. Healing doesn't come from closing off. It comes from opening up with wisdom, patience, and the right partner who sees his heart. Reason number 18. Some men just don't want to lead, and that's the hard truth, let's be honest. Not every man staying single is doing it for wise reasons. Some older men aren't choosing peace, purpose, or standards. They're choosing comfort, choosing to sit on the sidelines instead of stepping into the leadership role life is still calling them to. It's not always about women. Sometimes it's about a man avoiding the weight that comes with real commitment. He's not staying single because he's been burned. He's staying single because he's checked out. He's passive, not peaceful. He's stuck, not selective. And while he may blame modern culture, deep down he knows he's been running from himself. That's a hard truth to face. But it's necessary, because leadership, real, spiritual, emotional leadership, isn't just about calling the shots. It's about carrying responsibility, showing up with consistency, and building something that lasts. And when a man refuses that role, he doesn't just miss out on love, he misses out on purpose. Here's what I've learned after talking to countless men, through phone calls, live sessions, and real, raw conversations. Yes, dating today is difficult. Yes, the standards have changed. Yes, many women aren't looking to build, but to compete. But those facts don't give a man permission to abandon his calling. A man who knows his worth doesn't just avoid dysfunction, he qualifies. Who's worthy of his leadership. He doesn't stop being a husband at heart. He simply refuses to marry someone who isn't ready to be a wife in spirit. So if you're an older man reading this, hear me clearly. This message isn't telling you to stay single forever. It's telling you to stay single until you find structure, peace, respect, and shared purpose. Don't settle for chaos because you're lonely. Don't give in to rebellion because you're bored. Your legacy is too important to hand over to someone who won't walk beside you. And if you're a woman reading this, wondering why men like him don't choose you, it may be time to ask yourself honestly, are you ready to build with a man? Or are you still dressed up in independence, expecting him to carry it all? This conversation isn't about blame, it's about clarity. Lessons learned? Peace is priceless. Leadership is earned, not avoided. Intimacy is more than romance, it's trust and shared direction. And real love starts with real standards. Here's what to do next. Fellas, if you've traveled or found a better experience overseas, drop a comment below. Let's help each other out. Ladies, if this message challenged you, stay tuned, because in the next video I'll break down exactly what a man over 50 needs from a woman who wants his heart, his commitment, and his trust. Subscribe. Share. And if this hit a nerve, sit with it. Growth starts there, because at the end of the day, divine leadership doesn't argue with dysfunction, it simply walks away. I'll see you in the next one.